You've probably conducted a domain name search before, typing an idea into that little search box, waiting for the result, hoping your dream domain name is available. But here's the truth. One wrong move in that moment can cost you the chance to own a powerful domain name forever. I should know, because in mistake number 3, that's the single biggest mistake that cost me a domain name I could have sold for thousands. I'll share that story in a bit when we get there. For now, I'm going to walk you through the 7 mistakes most people make when searching for a domain name, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Let's jump in. The first mistake, searching without a strategy. Most people just type random words into the registrar box, hoping something cool pops up. But what happens? You end up with messy results like bestonlinemarketing2025info.net. Would you actually trust a brand with that name? Would you even click it? Probably not. That's not a brand, that's a headache. Instead, start with a plan. Think about your brand story. What makes you different? Think about your customers. What kind of domain name would they trust or remember? And think about your future. Will this domain name still make sense as your business grows? When I searched with strategy, I found domain names like c9x.com. Short, sharp, memorable. That's not random, that's branding power. Mistake number 2, ignoring domain name extensions. So many beginners think if the .com is taken, I'm done. But today, that's not true. Look around. Linear.app still thrives on .app domain name extension. Mirror.xyz has built its entire brand on .xyz, and companies like Framer previously used .io domain extension before moving to .com as their brand grew. These domain extensions aren't alternatives anymore. They're core to brand identity. So when you're searching for a domain name, don't stop at .com. Ask yourself, which domain name extension suits my brand's world best? Domain name extensions are part of the identity now. Tech companies loves .io. AI brands lean on .ai. Gamers, they flock to .gg. For example, I own goodgames.gg. Even before you click, you know it's gaming related. That's the power of choosing the right domain name extension. So when you're doing a domain name search, don't stop at .com. Ask yourself, which domain extension actually matches my brand's world? The next mistake, it's a painful one that can cost you your dream domain name forever. Mistake number 3, not registering immediately. Picture this, you find a domain name you love. It's available. You think, I'll sleep on it. I'll come back tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week. And when you check again, it's gone. Either bought by someone else or relisted for a price you can't afford. That's exactly what I did once. I searched for a short, 2-word brand name, thought about it for a few days, and by the time I came back, it was taken. A few weeks later, it showed up on a marketplace for over $10,000. That one huge mistake on my domain name search routine still stings. The lesson? If the domain name feels right and it's available, don't wait. Register it now before someone else does. Mistake number 4, overlooking trademarks. You'd be shocked how many people think NikeShoesOnline.com is a great idea. But imagine this. You spend a year building your business, growing your audience, investing on your domain name and marketing. Then all of a sudden, you get a legal letter forcing you to give it all up or face a legal consequence. That's what happens when your domain includes someone else's trademark. You don't just risk losing the name. You could face a UDRP dispute, get forced to hand over the domain name without compensation, or even face legal action if the brand decides to push harder. All the time, money, and trust you put into building your website can disappear overnight. Instead, stick to clean, original, brandable domain names. Something like mpico.com or swapple.com. Fresh, safe, and 100% yours. And mistake number 5, not thinking long-term. Trendy names might look good today, but will they age? Over the years, I've seen plenty of projects launch on names like Something Got Online. They rode a wave for a short while, then disappeared. Those names had no staying power. The better play is choosing a domain that's timeless. That's why I hold theburrs.com, short, clean, future-proof. A name like that can work across industries today and 5 or more years from now. So when you're searching, always ask yourself, will this name still make sense when my business grows? Mistake number 6 is the one that's often overlooked. Spelling and pronunciation. You might find a domain name that looks good written down, but when someone says it out loud, it's confusing. Imagine telling a friend, go check out firxo.com. They'd probably ask, wait, how do you spell that? Every time someone has to ask, how do you spell it? You're losing traffic. That's why simple, phonetic domain names win. Something like tokenstrike.com. You hear it once, you remember it, you type it correctly, no friction. So before you register your dream domain name, say it out loud. Ask yourself, if someone hears it one time, can they spell it correctly? Because here's the reality. Most people will first hear your brand spoken in conversation, on a podcast, or through word of mouth. If they can't type it in without asking twice, you're losing potential visitors before they ever reach your site. The strongest names pass the radio test. Easy to say, easy to spell, easy to remember. That's why a name like signalapp.ai works. It travels effortlessly from one person to another. And the last mistake, ignoring the power of short, simple names. Beginners often chase long, keyword-stuffed names because they think it'll help with SEO. But short always wins for branding and memorability. Think about it. Would you rather type bestcryptotradingsolutions.com every day or something clean like bitcoinwires.com? Simplicity is strength. The shorter the domain name, the easier it is to remember, to share, and to build a brand around. So when you're searching for a domain name, don't overlook the short, simple gems, because they're the ones that carry real value. Those are the 7 biggest and costly mistakes in doing domain name search. If you avoid these mistakes, you're already ahead of most people. Because the truth is, the majority of beginners search domain name without a plan. Grab the first thing they see or overlook the risks we just talked about. By simply being aware of these pitfalls, you're making smarter moves than 90% of people starting their domain name search. Want a real-world example of strong domain names? I've listed our own domain portfolio at .worldbrands.com. It might just spark your next big idea. And because we don't want you to miss the next videos, that walk you step by step through the domain name search process, so you can find, check, and secure your perfect domain name the smart way. Make sure you stick around and subscribe. That way you'll be the first to see it.